This is Guantanamo Bay, settled on a picturesque Caribbean island. The place is teeming with iguanas. They're protected under the Endangered Species Act, meaning if you kill one, you pay a $10,000 fine. Unfortunately for the 166 prisoners still left at the Guantanamo Bay detention facility, they don't have legal protections like the iguanas. And so for the last 100 days, they've committed themselves to a hunger strike. It's the largest hunger strike yet at Gitmo, and it comes more than 4 years after President Obama promised to close down the facility. 100 days in, more than 100 prisoners are involved in this strike, nearly a third of them kept alive by force feeding, which the American Medical Association says is unethical, and the United Nations says is torture. Former Gitmo guard Brandon Neely describes the process.
What they did, they took him to the medical area there at Camp X-Ray. They strapped him down to a gurney, and they just stuck a metal tube down his nose and pumped him full of fluids or whatever they use.
Congress has made the task of closing Gitmo harder. Using last year's National Defense Authorization Act, they passed into law several bans on where Gitmo prisoners can be transferred. But despite Congress's restrictions, the president can still close Gitmo on his own. At least fellow Democrat Senator Carl Levin says, yes, he can. As the hunger strike hit 3 months, Levin sent a letter to the White House reminding the president he had a way to bypass Congress on closing Gitmo. More than a year ago, Levin writes, I successfully fought for a national security waiver that provides a clear route for the transfer of detainees to third countries in appropriate cases. This is the president's first option, using this national security waiver. Senator Levin included the waiver in that same defense authorization bill, allowing for the transfer of any prisoner out of Gitmo if, quote, the transfer is in the national security interests of the United States. Now, the president did specifically say that Guantanamo is against our national security interests, and that keeping it open, it serves as a recruitment tool for extremists. Yet, in more than a year since this law was passed and this waiver created, the president has not once used it to release a single prisoner from Guantanamo, even while 4 prisoners have died there since he took office. U.S. Army Captain and Gitmo attorney Jason Wright questions whether these men should be prisoners at all.
Worst of the worst, who have done nothing wrong. So I think in the first instance, we need to actually address the root of the problem, which is in fact that the majority of the detainees are the wrong place, wrong time detainees, who may have been turned in based on family feuds, based on vendettas, just based on economics.
So if the president is really committed to closing down Guantanamo, why hasn't he used any of these waivers? Activist and former CIA officer Ray McGovern has a theory.
Lack of moral courage. The president knows what's right. He says it all in his speeches, and he said, and then he says, I've instructed my staff to look into ways that we can get these people released. Well, come on, Mr. President, you know, and if you don't know, you should fire your staff. You know that you have the authority to release these 86, at least, like this.
Now, should the president find this moral courage, his next step will be lifting the prisoner transfer ban to Yemen, which his administration imposed on itself in 2010. More than half of all the Gitmo prisoners, including nearly 2/3 of those 86 cleared for release or transfer, are from Yemen. Another option? More than 200 habeas corpus petitions have been filed on behalf of Guantanamo prisoners. The president could immediately stop challenging these cases in court. And then there's going back to Capitol Hill and fighting with Congress. But going the congressional route again means the president will have to wait until later this year, when those restrictions inside the National Defense Authorization Act expire. In other words, another 100 days at least of force feedings.
We just sent 40 new medical technicians from the Army down to put these stiff tubes down these people's noses, down through their esophagus into their stomach. So we can, I mean, if the president's only concern is that they don't die, man, no problem. We can keep them alive, you know? They can't resist. The only option to them to escape these conditions is to die. And we won't even let them do that. What kind of America have we become?
When the president was asked why these force feedings continue, he said, I don't want these individuals to die. So with that, he'll continue keeping them alive for as long as he can, until he decides to go it alone on closing Guantanamo. And leave it for the iguanas to roam. In Washington, Sam Sachs, RT.